everyone, this is ICBs here, and today we are looking at the peculiar case of Riri Williams' Ironheart. The first time we saw her character was in Wakanda Forever movie, and ever since then we have never heard from her again until Marvel uploaded this teaser trailer, uploaded about 5 months ago, as you can see over here. This is basically a collection or a compilation of films and shows that Marvel was going to be releasing in the future. Now this includes some of the movies and shows that have come out recently. Deadpool and Wolverine already came out, and some other shows that we will see, but this still includes some of the shows and movies that have yet to come out. So we are going to take a look at this thing, but our primary focus for this video is going to be Ironheart. So let's watch this thing. So as you can see, it already shows you a bunch of these snippets, and if you may have noticed, we already probably saw maybe 2 or 3 snippets there that are from Ironheart's show. You can see over here she's wearing a different kind of an armor, and over here is another snippet of the armor on top of a car. I don't know who this character is going to be in this show, but we will figure this out. Here is another snippet. It does look somewhat better than her armor in the Black Panther movie. I still don't like it as much as I liked Iron Man's armor, but hey, maybe when I see it in action, I will grow to like it. For now, I do think that this is somewhat of an improvement over whatever garbage she was wearing in the Wakanda Forever movie. So over here we have a wall of several snippets and images. To be honest, I'm not even sure where this screenshot is from or which show this screenshot belongs to be honest, but I think over here we can see an armor that looks awfully similar to the armor that we just saw. So, just another appearance of Riri Williams. I just wanted to show you guys. I may have skipped some of the unimportant bits from this trailer because they were not really important or relevant. We were seeing a lot of, things about Daredevil, but we already talked about that. But, today we're talking about Ironheart. We just saw the logo for it. And here it is, Ironheart, the teaser. Let's see what this is about. I don't think it's even an armor the way you could say that Tony Stark's armor was, where it's kind of like a suit. Her feels like it kind of makes her look taller. As you can see, her hand is over here, but the hand of the armor extends over here. Same with her feet. So maybe it's kind of like, I don't know what those things are called, but I think it's kind of like a tank that she's wearing that she can control with her hands and whatnot. It is still an armor, but yeah, a bit different than the way Tony Stark did things. Alright, so yeah, okay, so we just saw a tiny bit of her armor. I think this is by far the best rendition of Riri Williams that I've seen. This armor looks by far better than anything that I've seen so far, so props to that. I really love the design. It looks very slick and looks very realistic. It kind of looks like it could exist somewhere in the real world. I'm not saying the armor itself could exist, but design wise the aesthetics could exist somewhere in this world. So yeah, it feels very grounded. All right, so there you go. Like I was saying, like that's why her armor makes her look really bigger. So her feet might be over here, but the armor extends, so she might look even bigger than Tony Stark when she's wearing the armor. But that was the teaser trailer, and this show is supposed to come out in June 24th this year. So it's like 2 months away, maybe a bit over that. So it's really close to the release date, and we still haven't heard anything from Marvel. Usually whenever a show has to be released in a few months, the studio will release either a teaser trailer or a couple of trailers to build up interest in the series. What's really interesting with this thing is that, what I'm going to say, Marvel hasn't really released anything so far, which is a cause for concern. Now, there are 2 things I can imagine that might be happening right now. Number 1, Marvel is going to delay the series. and that's probably why we haven't seen a trailer or any update from Marvel so far. Another reason why I think that why we haven't seen or heard anything about this show is because, well, sometimes studios don't really have a lot of confidence in a show, so they don't really talk about it that much. Maybe they'll release a trailer very close to the release date, and then they'll just release it very silently because they don't want a lot of attention to that show. And you might be thinking that's really idiotic, because if a studio is releasing something, they want as much attention as possible to that show or a movie. But hey, sometimes studios make a lot of blunders, and they are not very proud of the product that they have on their hands, so they will just release it quietly on their streaming services. We've seen this thing happen several times before. We've seen this thing happen with Warner Brothers, with Marvel, HBO. There's a lot of streaming services that would do these kinds of things. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be a really bad show. This is just a conspiracy theory. I'm just wondering why this show has not gotten an update so far. So the whole topic of this video is kind of over. It was just about me wondering why Marvel hasn't released something about this show, why we haven't gotten an update. I wondered about that and shared my thoughts with you guys. Now I'm going to be talking about the villain for this show. It says that the villain for this show is going to be called the Hood. And that sounds very hilarious, but whenever I searched the Hood on Google, this is the image that shows up, and we already saw this thing in the trailer. You probably missed it, but he's also wearing the cloak, which is relevant. We are going to read his origins together to make ourselves a bit more familiar with the character. I think it's important to do that before watching any series or anything like that. So let's do exactly that. So this is the character Hood from the comic books, and I don't know why I just found his name to be really hilarious. I don't know why. So the Hood's original name is going to be Parker Robbins. His father worked closely with the Kingpin and had a healthy relationship with his son as he was growing up. As a child, Parker witnessed a battle between Daredevil and Electro, which would have a profound effect on his young adulthood. After his father's death, Parker's mother entered a near vegetative state and was hospitalized. Deeply troubled, Parker soon turned to a life of crime and would lie to his mother about the jobs he had found during his visits. Parker's well-meaning nature was juxtaposed with his philandering and thieving ways, such as taking care of his pregnant girlfriend Sarah while visiting a on the side. I have no idea what this means. He's taking care of his pregnant girlfriend while also visiting this thing. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. I think I already did. I'll just mute myself, I suppose. Alright. One night, John King, Parker's cousin and best friend, who is a recovering alcoholic, tells him about a job at a warehouse said to be housing valuable goods. Taking the job, Parker accompanies John at the warehouse, where they stumble upon an abandoned mystic ritual, resulting in an encounter with a Nisanti demon. Parker shoots the demon, seemingly killing it, and steals his hooded cloak and boots, not wanting to leave empty-handed. That's very funny. They were going to steal some, valuable goods at a warehouse, and they encountered a ritual that summoned a demon, and Parker is like, man, I'm not leaving empty-handed. He shoots the demon, and to everyone's surprise, the demon dies from bullet wounds, and Parker is like, I'm gonna steal his shit on. I have no idea how they come up with these kind of things. So he steals the demon's cloak and boots, not wanting to leave empty-handed. After losing his gun in a dumpster, Parker encounters a gang who wants the boots he had stolen off an agent of Hydra before going to the warehouse. I don't know why this thing happened. I'm not going to think about it too much. Throwing the boots at the gang, he flees and puts on the demon's boots, learning of their levitation powers. What the hell is going on? So there are two pairs of boots. So he stole one pair of boots with the Hydra, and the gang comes up and he throws the old boots and takes the new boots from the demon. Uh, I'm just as confused as you are, people. And Parker later shares his discovery with John and decides to try on the cloak as well, discovering it allows him to become invisible while holding his breath. And I do like his, drawback from the, you could say, his power, that he can only become invisible as long as he can hold his, breath, which kind of makes his powers very interesting when you think about it. And he would have to get very creative whenever he's trying to use his powers. So yeah, this is the villain that we're going to be getting in this Marvel show. And well, there it is. And they also probably race swapped this character. Just a classic Marvel move. Because we saw over here that the Hood is, a white guy. And then over here, he's maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel race swapped this character, and honestly, I don't care anymore. I am not even mad. I don't care about this thing. If it was me a couple of years ago, I would be mad about the race swaps, but now I just point my finger and I laugh at these kinds of things because at this point, I think that the whole Hollywood and Marvel, they're an absolute joke and shouldn't be taken too seriously. So I just laugh myself to that or whatever. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this show. Why do you think it's been delayed so much? Like Marvel should have released something by now. Why hasn't Marvel done that? Does Marvel not have any confidence in this show and is planning to release this thing quietly into his streaming service? What do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, it's time for a goodbye.